Let's bring you this now in the Eastern Cape. Komani has been once again hit by floods as a result of heavy rains overnight. Hani District Municipality spokesperson Bulelwa Ganyaza says 2 vehicles have been swept away by a strong current. Ganyaza says 2 people have been rescued from the vehicles. Meanwhile, 1 occupant is reportedly missing. Motorists have been warned to avoid using the roads. Rescue services have been dispatched to the town as areas of Silvertown and Thulandivile informal settlements are once again highly affected. SABC News reporter Abongile Jantjies and video journalist Vuyo Funani are in Komani for us. Abongile, thank you so much for your time this hour. So roads and cars are being swept away. What is the current situation regarding the heavy rains and the people that are still missing?
Well, Mkolisi, as for the people who are missing, I believe now that that body has been recovered. It's a female believed to be in her 20s. Well, the mortuary van just left now. I wish I could show you those vehicles, but those visuals, but no, the mortuary vehicle just left, and we understand that her family is yet to be informed, so we don't know who she is at this stage. And but she looks like a woman in her 20s, Mkolisi, and I can tell you now that the rain can fall any time from now, and it's really quite a bad situation here in the town of Komani. Particularly, look at these houses, look at these informal settlements here. This is the area that's been hard hit the most. People are doing their cleanup, they're cleaning up from the mess, and we don't know whether the rain will come back, because it's really quite high, and anything can happen in this community. We understand that a lot of people have been evacuated. Some are refusing to be evacuated. They are saying that this is where they live, and there's no way that they could leave their informal settlements in Mkolisi. And the Hani District Municipality says it's been working overnight to ensure that people do receive the attention that they deserve regarding this matter, and services of assisting with regards to this disaster are being rolled out. But let's bring in an MMC from the Hani District Municipality, Abongile Jantjies, who is in charge for economic development. Sir, kindly paint us a picture of what happened last night as we're here today.
Thank you very much. In the early hours of this morning, we did receive an alert that there will be 100% rain that will come at this site. So in the early hours of the morning, because our teams were put in place from different areas, Craigdog, Mthatha, East London, we put systems in place to make sure that we are able to respond and monitor the situation. And unfortunately, because the water was already up in the rivers, so just few rains in the early hours of the morning, the situation was uncontrollable. There were floods all over. As a result, we had a situation where people were still on the street walking around. Unfortunately, as you were saying, there is 1 person who was found to have been drowned by the water, a female, but we are still in the process of identifying that person as to where she comes from, and the family will let the family know as soon as we identify the person.
What are your assessments telling you with regards to this latest one, adding to what happened last week?
The situation is going to worsen, because as I've already alluded, that because the waters are already up in our rivers. So obviously, with the 80% that is expected from 12 o'clock up to the midnight, we are expecting maybe the situation will be worse. So we are monitoring the situation, making sure that we let people aware that they must not move around the streets, especially on the areas that we have identified where the floods normally take place.
This area where we are at now, it seems to be a problematic area. I remember last week when I was here, even yesterday when I was here, this area here, it's a low-lying area, and the residents are refusing to vacate their homes, even though there's this danger attached to this weather. How are you mitigating that?
We are confronted with that situation. The communities are refusing to leave this place, but we have managed to evacuate, for instance, today about 70 people, because people are able now to see the conditions that they are living under and the risk that they are involved in if they refuse to be taken away. But there are measures that we are putting in place, the permanent solutions that we want to provide to make sure that we rescue the situation. We have identified land. We are working closely with the local municipality to identify land so that we remove these people from here. But as you are saying, some of them are reluctant to move from this place because it's closer to town, it's convenient for them for their economic activities that they are embarking on. So that's the situation that we are confronted with. But we are persuading our communities to move away from areas that are posing risk in terms of their lives.
Another aspect could be the long wait for housing, and now they found themselves desperate to build their informal settlements here. How are you, in terms of human settlements, proper human settlements, not temporary structures when disasters have hit, building proper houses, which is enshrined in the Constitution, the right to shelter? These people, had they had housing, we wouldn't have found ourselves here today. How do you respond to that?
No, definitely, this is a commitment of government to ensure that we provide housing services to our people. But obviously, due to budget constraints and other limitations from government, we have that particular challenge. But we are moving with speed in making sure that, especially areas that we have identified like this one, that we do provide solutions. For instance, as I'm saying to you, we are looking for a permanent solution. We are engaging with the Department of Human Settlement provincially to come on board so that we build houses for these people. We remove them from this place because it poses danger on them.
Across the district, except for Komani, are there any areas that have been hit this time around?
No, not yet. We have not received any information from the local municipalities around the district. At least from the other local municipalities, the situation is under control.
In terms of your assessment, once again, in terms of value and money that will be needed to restore the lives of these people, and even in town, businesses are affected, how much are you estimating now?
From what happened from the 8th, we estimated about 4.5 million just to deal with a drainage infrastructure in town, because the main problem is some of the development that took place in town without the proper consultation with the municipalities to advise. Some of the water streams have been tampered with. That has led to these floods and water going all around and uncontrollable. So we have at least assessed the situation from the first incident that happened. We have put in place some measures and some budget, some estimations to make sure that we attend at least to the drainage system that is confronting us.
Thanks a lot for your time, sir. Well, Mxolisi, that was Abongile Jantjies, the MMC for Local Economic Development here in the Hani District. Well, if it's not residents protesting for service delivery and calling for the dissolution of the Inokumgijima municipality here in Komani, it's these disasters. Some things that are happening close to each other. Yesterday, they blockaded the town, even the national route linking it to the Free State province. They had blockaded the town, calling for the dissolution for the municipality. And then now we're finding ourselves here dealing with a disaster. So a lot is happening in this town of Komani, and hopefully the rain is not that severe tonight, so that but as you hear from him is that at least 80% is expected to fall again. So we might be surprised again when another disaster hits.
Clearly it doesn't rain, but it pours for the residents there. So how many more other people have been reported missing besides the two that we know of right now? Okay. Okay, it seems like we've lost Abongile there. Abongile Jantjies is our reporter that's out on that story for us. No doubt we'll be touching base with him a bit later on in the program.